So these are 6 Hot Toys figures that I really believe that you need to pre-order as soon as possible, or at least have a plan in place, because I really do believe that these are going to be waitlisted within the next month or two, because I honestly think that we're going to be getting a few of these relatively soon. I also had a video about a month ago where I did the same exact thing. I said, hey, here's some Hot Toys figures that I really believe you should pre-order. And a couple of those are already waitlisted within that time frame. One has already been released. So again, I don't know the future. You know what I mean? I don't know the future. These are just predictions. These are just going based on the estimated dates and what I've seen before and kind of how things usually go. And so I'm just trying my best to be like, hey, man, if you really want this figure, maybe think about pre-ordering it. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't want to pre-order at all. That's totally cool. But this is for people who definitely want to pre-order some figures and get them at retail. So the first one we're going to talk about, you saw it in the thumbnail. We see it already here. It's Mr. Freeze. And look, a lot of times with these collector's editions and deluxe editions, when they have both versions, the collector's edition gets waitlisted first. Almost 90% of the time you see the collector's edition go first. This is a case where I think the deluxe version probably goes quicker than the collector's edition, only because it's only a $30 difference and you get a whole base and you get these wings on the Mr. Freeze figure. So just to show you kind of what you're going to be getting, let's go to these photos, because I definitely want to make sure you understand that with this deluxe version, not only are you getting this really cool base, but even more so, take a look at what else you get with this. I don't know why it's taking me so long to get to this. Let's just keep it rolling though. So you can see you get this base and you get these wings and stuff. So again, man, if like I could totally see this only for $30 more, I think that's a really good value. I definitely think the deluxe version goes before the collector's edition, but it wouldn't shock me either if the collector's edition went first. This is not even on low stock alert, but if you scroll down, we can see that this is projected from January 2026 to June 2026. There is time here, but I think this is one of those characters that as soon as people start sensing that it's going to be getting here soon, or maybe there's rumors that it's going to be getting here a little bit earlier than normal. We've already seen the T800 with the Arnold Schwarzenegger head sculpt. They already have like this prototype. This is a figure that I could definitely see getting pushed back as well. But the only reason I started off with this one, even though it's January 2026 to June 2026, and who knows if that gets pushed back again, is because I really feel like as soon as this version of the character gets on low stock alert or anything like that, it's going to go quick. And this is going to be a figure that I truly believe if you don't pick up at retail, this is one of those rare instances where I think that this not only holds its value, but it actually increases in value over time. We see a lot of this with villains, especially superhero villains. I don't see us getting a Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin ever again. I truly think if this is something you really want, I personally would go ahead and pre-order this now, especially if you want to do a payment plan, because you're going to get plenty of time to pay this off. Again, we're going to look back on this video and laugh, because this could definitely get pushed back till next, fall. But just have that peace of mind, just for a $38 non-refundable deposit, or even some other sites where you can go ahead and pre-order this without the NRD. I just think that if this is a character you really want, I truly think that I would go ahead and pre-order this. This is a figure, man, when it comes out, it's going to be amazing. I mean, you can already see it with the head sculpt. I mean, Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin, that's crazy that we're getting that, and I don't think we ever get it again. So definitely, take this with a grain of salt, but also if you really want this, I would highly recommend, again, totally up to you, but maybe pre-ordering it sooner rather than later. So the next one we're going to get into is we are going to switch gears over to Beetlejuice. Now, here's what's interesting about Beetlejuice. We see that the Sideshow Beetlejuice is still readily available. People weren't feeling that as much. I actually have that figure. I kind of wish I would have waited on this one. I don't know if I want to have 2 Beetlejuices in the collection, but this one right here is just going to be phenomenal. I can already tell that I'm going to regret not pre-ordering this one, so I'm actually probably going to take my own advice and really contemplate if I really need both versions of this Beetlejuice character. And the reason I say that is because the version that Sideshow had is the version from the movie that I prefer, which is the original Beetlejuice. I enjoyed Beetlejuice, but I'm just going to have to wait and see how this comes out. But my worry is as soon as these blogger photos hit and as soon as this actually gets released, which I think we get this very soon, you can actually see November 2025 to December 2025. So we could get this very soon. This could literally be, by the time this video is even out, they could have already released this. And as soon as that happens, I could see this getting waitlisted. Beetlejuice is a character that I think people are waiting to see how good this looks. And if this looks as good as the prototype, I think people are going to jump on it. And, we don't get a lot of characters like this. You know what I mean? We don't get a lot of characters like this from Hot Toys. We normally get, DC, Marvel, Star Wars. So anytime we get something from a different IP, from Beetlejuice, this is a character that I definitely think is going to go higher in price once it's released. You kind of look at that Wednesday Addams figure. That figure was not on waitlist until it got released. As soon as it got released, because it was kind of a surprise release with how quickly it came out. As soon as that released, that figure's gone up way in value. Now it looks like they've didn't do a full production run of that. It almost looks like, I don't know if the sales weren't good or whatever, but with the Wednesday Addams figure, I just feel like they didn't make a ton of those. I'm not sure how many they're going to make of the Beetlejuice, but I just know that this type of character, this type of figure is one that 10 years from now, we might look back on and be like, damn, man, that was a grail, and we should have picked it up. So again, if you don't have a Beetlejuice and you've been waiting for the Hot Toys treatment and you didn't really want that sideshow version, this is going to be phenomenal. You get this amazing base. It's the older version of the character, but still going to look great. They've been doing a really good job with the Michael Keaton likeness. Again, man, totally up to you. I'm never going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. This is just kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. So if you want to pre-order this, and it was me, I would probably go ahead and pre-order this personally if I really wanted to make sure I got it. Again, November 2025 to December 2025. I don't see this one getting pushed back. I think we get this one very, very soon. So definitely prioritize this if you are in the market for this and you want it. Next one we're going to talk about is X23. This one is a November 2025 to a March 2026. I think we get this one very soon. Here's what's going to happen. All right, here's what's going to happen. The Hugh Jackman Wolverine is starting to kind of get in circulation. It's starting to come out. People are getting their last payment in. People are starting to get the notification emails that, hey, this deluxe Wolverine from Deadpool Wolverine, it's about to be here, baby. Okay, it's about to be here, and you're about to have one of the best figures of the year, it looks like. Obviously, we have TVA jacket version as well. That's going to be coming very soon as well. I really think they're going to try to get all this Deadpool and Wolverine stuff out that's already been announced relatively soon. I think X23, they're strategic with this stuff. Hot Toys is smart. They're gonna give you the Deadpool and Wolverine, and then they're gonna wait a little bit and say, hey, you know what's a great companion piece with that other than Deadpool? X23. And I think if they really want to sell this figure really well, that they do this on purpose, so that way it's like, while we're talking about Wolverine, we're also going to be talking about X23. So do not be shocked if X23 is announced before the end of the year, or not announced, but released before the end of the year. I think this figure is going to look phenomenal. The prototype looks awesome. I just think that this is going to be a figure that you definitely are going to want to prioritize getting. I don't think we get another version of this character. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see us getting another version of this character. This is a character that I think if you really want, and you really want to pair with that Wolverine, this is definitely one to be considering pre-ordering. That's what I would do. And it's a character that I go back and forth on if I really want to pair it with this deluxe Wolverine. I mean, you can see how cool that's going to look. Again, kind of reminiscent about the Logan movie. Now, I know these are different versions of the character, but still, it would be a great display piece. I just think that this is going to be a figure that when it comes out, it's going to look really awesome. It's going to look really good. And plus, at this price point, at the $265, I think it's a character that there is a world where I could see this sitting for a little bit, truly, to be totally honest with you. Out of all the ones on the list, this is the one I'm kind of unsure about the most. But my thing is, the reason I think that the reason I could see this going waitlist as soon as it's released is because of that connection with the Deadpool Wolverine. And I just think that would be a really smart move if they brought this out relatively soon. So this is going to be coming out very soon, I think. And I think it's going to really pair well with that Wolverine. But honestly, out of all of these, I could see me being wrong on this one, and this one sticking around for a little bit before it goes waitlisted. But I think if this comes out looking really good and just as good as a prototype, this is a waitlist candidate, and I definitely think that this one gets released very soon. Next one we're going to talk about is we got to go back to Marvel, man. We got to go back to Marvel. We've been talking about Marvel with X23. Now we got to talk about Captain America Stealth Strike Suit 2.0. Here's the thing. This character right here, we're going to get tons of Captain Americas. We always do, all right? But Captain America is one of those characters that I think we talk about how this stuff comes out in unison, right? We're very, very close to probably getting, I'd say probably in the spring is when we get the Winter Soldier 2.0 Artisan. Once that releases, you don't think a lot of people are going to want to be putting this Captain American Captain America Stealth Strike Suit 2.0 to go along with it to be that Winter Soldier display. This is a suit that people really like. This is a character that people really like. It's going to have a new Chris Evans head sculpt. I personally think we're going to get another Captain America announcement next year, potentially an artisan with this new Chris Evans sculpt. I just really think we do. I think going into Doomsday, and plus, if you really want to check that out, I have a whole series called Road to Doomsday, so definitely check that out. I'll link the description in I'll link the playlist description below so you can follow us along on that journey where I'm rebuilding my entire MCU collection in anticipation for Avengers Doomsday. But I'm feeling like we're going to get another Captain America announcement next year, but I do think that this is a figure at the $280 price point, a character that's going to pair well with that Artisan Winter Soldier. Again, a lot of people that are getting this character don't have the 1.0s, or they've been looking to upgrade for a long time. This is definitely a version of the character that I think is going to get waitlisted. I think once it's released, it's going to be a little tough to pick up the character. I'm not saying he's going to go up in value a lot, but I think with the hype surrounding the Winter Soldier 2.0 Artisan, if this comes out around the same time, you're going to have a tough time kind of being able to get this one at retail early on just because of those reasons. So I definitely think that this is a character that you probably need to at least think about, because again, we're getting this new Chris Evans sculpt. It's a great suit that people love. It's the 2.0. It's Winter Soldier, which is one of the most beloved movies in the MCU. And I don't know, man. I think again, I could be wrong. I could be. But the last video, we got some wait lists like right out of the bat. So again, I really think that this is one that you need to be keeping an eye on. I think this is one that I still think you got a little bit of time, but as soon as that Winter Soldier 2.0 Artisan comes out, this one's value is going to go up even higher just because people are going to want to pair those two characters together. All right, so we got two more left. The next one we're going to talk about is Jinx. Okay, here's the thing with Jinx, all right? November 2025 to March 2026. I don't see us getting many more Arcane figures like this. I think when Hot Toys does stuff like this, it's usually a one and done type of situation, and I just think that this is a figure that if it can look as good as it looks in this prototype, this figure is not for me personally. I've never watched Arcane. I've heard great things, but it's just not something that I'm like going to be getting. But I'd be lying to you if I said that this didn't look awesome. I think this is going to really pop off the shelf. I think once blogger photos come out and once videos come out, like TikToks and shorts on YouTube and just reviews come out from this for this figure, I think it's going to blow people away. I think that this is going to be extremely well received. I think it's going to look awesome. I think that the Arcane hype is still there. I think people really enjoy the show. And I just think that it's one of those characters that you just have so many different ways to display this character. And it's just, I don't know, man, there's a part of me that wants this because it's just such an art piece to me. It just looks amazing. It really looks like the animation is like popping off the screen and it's on your shelf. And there's different, face plates with this character. And it's just, again, man, it's just, I truly think it's one that if you love Arcane, and it's at $275 retail, and you're somebody, this is a figure that I could see a lot of people. It's kind of like that Wednesday Addams figure, okay? This isn't for like the normal Hot Toys collector who's going to pick up, double-digit figures a year. This is for somebody who really loves Arcane that's going to buy one figure probably a year, maybe even one figure altogether. It really is going to be that type of collector where somebody who's just a huge fan of the show wants to pick this up. And so I'm really trying to talk to those fans right now. If you love the Arcane show and you're looking for a premium collectible to go with it for your display, and you have the means to get a figure that's going to be over $300 once, fees and shipping and all that come in, this is the ticket right here. And I really don't want you to miss out on that. I really don't want you to miss out on getting a piece to a show that's not going to have a ton of merchandise like this. It's not like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, where we're just going to keep getting it over and over and over again. I really don't see us getting this again. So I would really prioritize this, especially if you're an Arcane fan. I would pre-order this as soon as possible. So if you really want to get it on if you really want to get it on Sideshow and be able to pay it off over time, I'd really recommend it, because I definitely think that once this releases, now again, I'm not saying that this might not sit for a little bit, But I really think, man, even people that weren't interested in the figure right now, once people start seeing blogger photos and videos of this thing, man, I think it's really going to blow people away. And people are going to really want to probably watch the show just based on how good this is going to look. Again, just my prediction, but I definitely think it's something you should keep an eye on. And finally, we got our sixth one. I was just going to do 5, but there was enough for 6 here. And our final one, Savaggio Press. You know, we had to get some Star Wars in here, okay? Star Wars is in a very interesting spot with Hot Toys right now. There's a lot of stuff on pre-order. I think we're going to get a lot of stuff, especially from the original trilogy in the next year or two. I think we're going to get some stuff from the sequel trilogy. I'm about to have a video where I'll be talking more about that. Take a deep breath, Justin. All right. You gotta take a breath, man, because sometimes when you're talking at this speed, you're trying to tell people like, hey man, pre-order ASAP. You get hyped up. So here's the thing. Savaggio Press is a character. If this was any other character from the Clone Wars, I'd say you could probably wait a little bit. But Savage is a character. We've been talking a lot about this. Are they going to revisit this character anytime soon? The answer for Savaggio Press is absolutely not. I'm not going to say never, but this is a character that if you love the Clone Wars, you already have a Clone Wars display. Maybe you just got that Maul 2.0 this last year, and you want to have something to go with that. And I know there are different types of versions of the character, but even non-Clone Wars collectors, I could see Star Wars collectors in general. Star Wars collectors are a lot like Disney collectors. Like, they're going to pick up everything. And so this is a piece for that deep-cut Star Wars fan. I don't think somebody who's a Star Wars fan who's only going to pick up 1 or 2 figures a year is really going to, this isn't going to be on their radar. But I definitely think for Clone Wars fans, for people who've been waiting for a Savaggio Press, I think this is very exciting for them. And I think that once this comes out, man, it's going to go fast. And the reason I say that is normally I wouldn't say that with the Clone Wars because we've had some figures from the Clone Wars sit for a while. We still have an Anakin sitting there. But Savage is different just because we don't get characters like this very often. In Star Wars, it always happens. As soon as these Star Wars characters get released and they get out in circulation into the wild, they're a little bit harder to obtain for retail. Not saying, like I've been using this a lot, not saying this one doesn't sit for a little bit, but you got November 2025 to March 2026. I just think that once this comes out, people are really going to start picking it up. Out of everything on the list, I think you're safe here. Even when this gets to release day, I think you'll still have a little bit of time. But I wanted to include this on the list because if you're somebody who's really been wanting a Savaggio Press and Clone Wars, I mean, we could get this very, very soon. I think we get this early next year, and I think it's a figure that's really going to blow people away, especially just like I said with the Arcane stuff. It looks like the animation style pops off the screen. You're going to have that on the shelf. And I think a lot of people have been looking forward to adding a Savaggio Press to their Star Wars collection. And I know a few people in particular that are going to be really hyped for this. So definitely be thinking about that. And that's what we got right there. We have our 6 Hot Toys. And we're going to go back to the beginning here because I just want to look at this real quick because it's just awesome. But those are our 6 Hot Toys that I think you need to pre-order as soon as possible. Let me know in the description below which ones you think you need to pre-order. Out of all these 6, which ones are your priority to make sure you get it at retail and make sure you get to pre-order it through Sideshow or whatever other retailer you like to purchase from. I truly appreciate you watching the video. Check out my other videos in the description below and on the end screen that comes out after the outro. I definitely would love for you to check out some other content on the channel. I do a lot of different things on the channel, so it'd mean a lot to me if you'd give some of it a chance. Thank you so much for watching. Pre-order these ASAP if you want. Obviously, only if you want, but definitely be thinking about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.